So the ultimate weapon perhaps coming closer to reality in the country of Iran, the UN's nuclear watchdog finding that Tehran is further boosting its overall stockpile of uranium and keeping its nuclear program away from the eyes of the agency's most seasoned inspectors. Former Secretary of State, Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo, sir, good morning to you. Here are the three headlines. Inspectors are not given access. The stockpile of uranium is higher, as I just mentioned there. And the rich uranium is at what's considered 60% purity. Based on the article that I read, to get to 90%, you do that very simply once you're at 60%. So they're close.
Yes, Bill, good morning. No, they're close, and you're right. It doesn't take long. You spin some centrifuges. They have the equipment to do that. And all of this has been enabled by the decision that was made early on by the Biden administration to allow them to continue to build these programs out by getting out of the JCPOA and ceasing to enforce the sanctions regime, which denied them the very money that they need to continue to spin their centrifuges and build their nuclear capabilities. It's very concerning. Imagine sitting in the same context with what happened on October 7th with a nuclear-armed Iran. The dynamics would be very different, even more difficult than they are today. And this administration has done literally nothing to stop Iran from continuing to build its program.
That's a really
and
interesting.
The poor IEA is now shut out.
Yeah, that's an interesting scenario. Just how does, say Tehran comes out with the alert a month from now or 6 months from now, how does the region change, in your view, immediately?
I think it changes two very important ways. First is, I think the Israelis would understand that they've got to take action that is even more serious, more concerted, more focused than they have taken to date. I don't think Israel can allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon or a nuclear weapons program. Second, the Gulf Arab states, Bill, will almost certainly feel compelled to head down the same path. And so we will then have multiple nuclear-armed nations in the Middle East. This proliferation is a terrible risk. It's one of the reasons we worked so hard to build the Abraham Accords, was to prevent precisely this kind of activity from taking place.
Well, let's move to another topic. I don't know if we get a deal with Hamas or not, but here was Joe Biden in New York yesterday when he was asked about it at the ice cream shop right down the street.
Could you give us a sense of when you think that ceasefire will start, sir?
Well, I hope by the beginning of the weekend. I mean, the end of the weekend. At least my national security advisor tells me that we're close. We're close. It's not done yet. And my hope is by next Monday.
I don't know what your read is on that. This whole thing about referring to Jake Sullivan, fine, but I mean, he's the commander-in-chief. He owns the decision, does he not, as opposed to Jake Sullivan?
He does. He does. That's so odd. Vibes and ice cream as the method by which you communicate your hostage policy. Look, it has been an enormous mistake of the administration to put so much pressure on Israel to stand down. Call it a ceasefire, call it a pause. The Israeli people can't be sold out by the American administration. They've got to complete this task. They cannot allow Hamas to continue to have weapons and capabilities on their border in the south and west of their country. And they're going to finish this task. I don't know what President Biden is thinking. I don't know why he would sell out Israel in this way. Israel needs to complete this task. It's not only in Israel's best interest, it's in the Gulf Arab states' best interest, it's in America's best interest as well. Bill, these Hamas guys, they are literally an extended arm of the very Iranians we were speaking about earlier. That's the task at hand, and the president should not be halting them or hindering them. He should be encouraging them to finish this task quickly.
Netanyahu says, I think we're there. Here's what Hamas said to Biden's comments. Hamas official telling Reuters the U.S. president's comments on the prospects of an imminent halt in Gaza are premature. Do not match the situation on the ground. Officials saying there are still big gaps that need to be bridged before a truce. I tell you what, you get hostages out of there alive, it's going to be an amazing, an extraordinary moment for the world. And let's hope and pray that it does happen. Mike Pompeo, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll hold on to hope.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, for coming on today.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.